Good morning, everybody. I'm gonna make this quick because I'm really more interested in eating my food right now because it's just staring at me and it smells amazing. I'm salivating. The main thing is, sorry for the videos taking so long. It's just, you know, most of you guys watching are in the States, but for those that don't know, we're in Ontario, so Canada, Ontario. It's just so many lockdowns happen here so often. They go in and out like nothing. It's like fashion with these guys. Now, with that, makes it just a real headache to actually arrange anything with anyone. That's really honestly why it's just been taking so long. I'm just gonna finish my food, hop in the car, we're gonna drive all the way over to the academy, and then we're gonna go from there. So now that we're finally here, I'm gonna talk about what we're doing today. So essentially, I personally love to weight train as a complement to my jiu-jitsu. Now, the biggest thing I find that people make the mistake when it comes to weight training is they train way too hard with too heavy of a weight. And they kind of get confused in terms of the rep count and sets, how many they should do. So today, it's a very simple video. I'm actually gonna just show you guys my routine. I'm gonna show you guys my routine. I'm gonna actually do it, and I'm gonna voice over the benefits of it and the technique for it, and you know how many sets and reps you should be doing. All you're gonna need is a kettlebell. Just have one kettlebell. And the weight you wanna go for, my recommendation would be a moderate weight that you can do anywhere from 10 to 20 reps. So anywhere from 10 to 20 reps, that's a perfect size. Just go with that. And all you need is one. So let me grab my kettlebell and we're gonna get started. Get ready, get your kettlebell, I'm gonna put my music on, we're gonna get started. Here we go, guys, get ready, starting with the very first thing, and that's gonna be the Kettlebell Hip Swing. Grab with both hands. You just notice how I'm dipping it in between my legs and using my hips to push the weight forward. My arms do almost nothing other than hold the kettlebell. You know, bear in mind your structural postures, right? You have your upper back, your core, and your glutes. Make sure those are all locked in place and engaged, as well as a general tension around your body. I'm sitting back into my hips slightly, bending my knees, using the power of my hips to push forward, making sure I don't push my hips too far forward, otherwise I'm gonna pinch my lower back. Moving on now into the clean and press. This is actually two movements that are just combined into one. You can definitely do these ones separately if you find that total thing is a little bit too much in the beginning. Main things you want to pay attention to when it comes to this exercise in particular. First thing, you notice how I'm loading up the kettlebell. It's sort of a combination of the hip swing. So I'm kind of swinging that kettlebell in between my legs, and as I push forward, I'm using my hips to generate that power, and at the same time using everything from my shoulder, my elbow, my whole entire arm to really just gain that elevation and then load it up against my chest. Once I load it up, stabilize, and then press above your head. When it comes to the press over top, so the overhead press, you want to always remember, keep those shoulder blades down, or you can keep your shoulder blades nice and down, squeeze your core, squeeze your glutes, and then press above your head. Control on the way down always. You can press hard, you can push fast and hard, but control on the way down. Now, one thing you notice that I'm doing is I'm actually going down and kind of killing the momentum. You could drop the weight and go right into a swing to get a more fluid transition for your reps. But I prefer in some cases just to stop, because trust me, the control going up and down, it really does tax your body. The deadlift. This one is a favorite of mine. I love this one. The deadlift, main thing you want to think about is this. You're sitting back into your heels. I'm putting my weight back into my heels. My shoulder blades are locked. My core is activated. And I'm squeezing my glutes at the top of the push. Now, main thing you're noticing, I'm hinging from my hips. So my upper body is leaning forward, but I'm not curving my back. Your back should not curve. sit back into your heels, let that weight go forward, and then strain everything up at the top. If you notice, sometimes my hips will, every once in a while, sometimes they'll lean a little too far forward, and it happens, and I've done this exercise for a long time, and it still happens where I lean too far forward. Again, it's very important because you're going to finish the workout, you're going to finish this exercise, and you might feel a slight weird pinch or muscle tightness in your lower back. That's if you've really gone your hips forward too far at the top. From the top to bottom, you should be a straight line. One arm bench press. Now, this one is actually done a little bit different. I'm using a stability ball, but you can actually use your couch. I actually use my couch at home. I just pretty much put my back against where I sit, or I can sometimes lean against the armrest. It's kind of hard to imagine. I hope you guys can figure it out, but you can do this at home using your couch. Notice now that my legs are at 90 degrees, and from my knee to hip to shoulder, I try to keep it a straight line. So you want to really engage your core. And guess what? Lock your shoulder blades back, engage your core, engage your glutes. Never changes. Push, control on the way up, control on the way down. Squeezing your chest, focusing on that muscle. The amazing part about doing it this way is that it's not only just you're working your bench press, but you're working your balance as well, because the weight is forcing me to lean to one side. I'm fighting against that, which is what? It's working my core, it's working the whole body, really. We are in the home stretch, guys. Just 2 more exercises left. Squats. These are just absolutely fundamental. Super basic, incorporate. It doesn't really matter what sport you're doing. You cannot go wrong doing squats. Notice I got the kettlebell right in front. Now this one is really interesting because this one's doing like a front squat essentially. Instead of the weight being loaded up on your back, the weight is being held with your arms, by the way, which is working your arms, held against your chest, which is causing the weight to pull you forward, which is going to compromise your form, which then allows you to do what? Engage, lock your stomach, keep a straight back. I use my elbows as a reference for me as to how low I go, because if I tend to go too low, I pretty much butt wink is what it's called, is when your butt dips beneath you on the lower end of a squat, which is going to put an unnecessary amount of load on your spine because it's curving awkwardly. So you always want to try to make sure you got that curve in your back, that healthy curve. Last technique, bent over row. Stagger your feet, get into like an athletic stance, but still making sure that your back is straight. I'm using my elbow right now to rest against my knee. Notice how before I even started the lift, I rolled my shoulders back, locking them in place, then I bring in to do the rep. Trying to think this entire time about activating my lats. The whole point of this movement is to target the lats, so really you want to focus your mind there.
There you go, guys. It's not too complicated. Techniques aren't so nuts. Just remember, form and structure is the best thing. Me personally, with my break times, 30 seconds at the maximum, if not less, just because it's not too bad. Like, it's not a killer workout. The whole point of it is not to be killer. It's just so that it can, get a pump in your body, get your muscles slightly torn, so that you heal quicker the next day and you continue doing the workout the day after tomorrow. That way you're more willing to do it, and you get a nice slow progression going upwards rather than like momentary spikes of intensity, and then all of a sudden it comes down, you get tired, you don't do it for a while. As usual, guys, if you have any questions about the workout or anything to do with how does this relate to jiu-jitsu, comment below. I always answer them. I love answering them. So now I gotta go take my own time, do my stretches. I have a usual routine after these workouts just to get my body nice and loose and less sore and achy, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So if you guys are regular viewers and you haven't subscribed, subscribe today. We are so close to the 1,000 subscriber mark. We've been doing this for, I feel like we've been doing YouTube for a little over a year and a half. So we're so close to it. Help us get there. We would be so grateful. Again, sorry for the delays on the videos. I'll do my best to try to keep up. These lockdowns do make it a real headache. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.